If you're seeing this message is for you, and I need you to hear me and hear me good.
So that whole little spiel was an idea of what it's like to be polymathic autistic with ADHD and spiritually savant. Someone like me does not do well in large groups. Someone like, because I'm gonna be honest, people love to disassociate. People don't want to be, they don't like their fantasies interrupted, and they will literally defend and harm you for impeding their dreams. Hence Fred Hampton, hence MLK, hence Malcolm X, so many others. I don't doubt that someone like Yahweh existed because there are multiple people like it, not several. Someone like me at a job, you're bullied a lot. But I have an uncle who's like, if somebody's doing something to you, why aren't you doing it? Because before the fourth dimension was declared to exist in time or whatever, there were people who already operated in that. So I could literally see. I could see. I can see. And I'm looking at you, what you're doing to me, and yes, it's upsetting me, but I see what you do to yourself in your off time. I see how you think about yourself, how you treat yourself, and I can see. And I'm gonna literally speak to the thing that causes you to feel exposed, but only you are exposed and you and me know. And you're like, how the F does she know? That's creepy. And it's like, I don't know how I know. Claircognizance sucks because nobody told me to just observe and don't absorb, don't save people. That is the lesson I had to learn on this trip of this journey of life experience is I can't help people. Because there was a video, literally a guy was like, well, we got to help our people. You know, the literacy rate, the critical thinking, people don't want to learn how to read. There are multiple people who don't want to know how to read because then they're going to deal with such a vast amount of information once they read it, like it overwhelms them. They prefer to talk about entertainment. They prefer to do so much other things that it's one of those, I had to learn that. And it was a lot of trial and error where I was in places and spaces where I'm literally thinking I'm helping and I'm not helping at all. It's making other people look bad. Like, I'm going to be very clear. I knew, when I worked a job, I knew people from 6 other departments. They weren't even relative to mine. So managing someone like that, like, if you're walking up to your supervisor, and I know like 6 other supervisors are people like junior level management, and they're like, oh, there goes Kimberly. And your supervisor's like, how do you know them? You don't even work in their department. Oh, I had a question about this. But that's not your job. And it's like, I literally go where spirit guides me to go. And that would entail knowing people where I normally meet women who've had a lot of rainbow kids, and I'm like, your baby's coming, you know? And that gives people hope. But at the same time, a lot of times people don't even know what they are wishing for, if that makes sense. Because it's one of those, example, a lady was like 40, and I had to be a good 22, 23 at the time. And I said, you're going to have a baby. She's like, oh, I don't have any kids. The thing is, she procreated with a guy who was in his 60s. He didn't want any more kids, nor was he active in this child's life. So you know what that means? That was difficult because she's parenting a child as a because she's parenting this child as a single parent. But that's what you wanted, right? Multiple people would pray for something and don't understand the gravity of what they're talking about. But they want the thing, so they think. Just like someone I knew, other people, entrepreneurs. I want more business. They get more business, they can't handle that business. So they start having losses because attention to detail is very important when you're managing certain scopes of business, and you have to know how to delegate. And if you can't afford or feel like, okay, if I hire people, I got to train them, I got to do that, you can't handle the scale of what business is. I see in forward like it's a seer, but I'm also a Heyoka empath. So when things happen to me, it's like Green Mile a bit, but it's like I'm a woman, and I used to absorb people's stuff. I don't do that anymore. I don't absorb people's pain because I saw what it did to me, and also I saw that when I actually needed something, unlike the movies, people aren't there for you. So when people are like, oh, Kimberly doesn't get a lot of likes on this or that, I have been in social media experimenting and documenting things where I've had hundreds of likes. My daughter was in the hospital. I was in the hospital, all kinds of things. Nobody ever showed up to help. And you can have hundreds of likes. That doesn't manifest into actual physical things. And you have to understand this is a virtual space. This is not the real. Like when you say, well, it creates money, influence for what though? And we're talking like also this spans into the gifted program. Someone like me normally works for the government, the part that you don't know about, or for a person who's a trillionaire, to be very clear. I don't like, the reason why I don't is because someone literally impregnated me as a minor. And that's like statistically lowers your chances of getting to your destiny greatly, immensely. And when people say men don't impregnate women, those are lies, because these men have Jezebel spirit and they're jealous of women. Literally, Judas jealous of women, and they do things. And this person was very nefarious, who weaponizes incompetence. He should have went to prison, but no. And the thing about it was, I am a person like, okay, I'm still going to do this. I'm still going to make these things happen. I'm still going to do this. And in spite of it all, like someone causing or attempting to cause my life to be completely damaged, it's not. Because I didn't let someone take away my vision. And how does that tie to the gifted program? Because I was a person who was taught imagination, but I had imagination before they were teaching it. And I mean, every day I was taken out of class to talk about imagination because I was astral projecting from 5. And the thing is, there are people who don't have an imagination. So astral projection and imagination tie together like that. And I was a person with behavioral issues, so they sent me through a lot of care about people things. But they found out, oh, we did it too much, because there are people literally sacrificing themselves, like the idea of who Jesus was, right? And I don't doubt that person existed, but you have to understand, it's very awkward when I can see through people. And I know why people like me disassociate, but with using vices that are illicit, alcohol, whatever. You have to understand, the only reason why I don't, because it's too many variables, as in, I'm not a man. Women who have issues with addiction or whatever, especially when they're black, they're treated terribly. They're treated so terribly in our medical system. There's a woman who literally was harming black babies in the NICU. Imagine what they're doing to adults who are black and they're women or men. It's heinous out here. So no, I don't do a lot. And I know this was 10 minutes. I didn't mean to make it, but it was worth it. I take up space. I do. I have a lot to say.